This is Assassin's Creed, the very first Assassin's Creed game they ever made. It is now FPS boosted, so you can enjoy this original origin story at a 4K resolution, 60 FPS, no auto HDR. But yeah, it's basically the equivalent at this point of having a remaster of the game. It looks absolutely fantastic, it shines, it feels really good and fluid, and it's just generally an awesome experience that you can enjoy. Whether you're more used to the newer ones or perhaps wanting to revisit this classic title, I think you would actually find this to be a very interesting experience. This is open world adventure with stealth elements, and it leans a little bit closer on the more traditional actual stealth focuses as opposed to really being, the more RPG-like ones that we have today, where it's a little bit more action-packed. And this was a lot closer to also the Prince of Persia series, just due to how much the game was generally inspired and or built off of that. So this is a little bit into it after like an initial sequence and whatnot. They're just going over some kind of opening thing where you saw what you wanted to see and, blah 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 blah. You get it. We've just entered into the Animus again, where you are able to jump into the history of your ancestors. I know, pretty intense, and we're after pieces of, well, basically history, doing multiple perspectives. That includes a modern day component and a historical component.
From today on, you will track them yourself. If this is what you wish.
Anyways, so we're going for parkour and whatnot. Desmond Miles is the future counterpart to our character that is jumping into this more historical perspective, and we are going to be going in and becoming Altair, and we need to eliminate our targets and get the job done. So now we can finally move into gameplay and freely feel the high level of fluidity that has been present here. We've been demoted. Well, doesn't that just suck? But anyways, these games have a really nice historical sense to them while also creating their own sense of history. And this one just has like a really neat sense of like fluidity to it. It had quite a bit of scale for its era, and while it might not seem necessarily as super impressive as the titles that came afterwards, it's still a really, neat time and something that I think you could find quite fun and entertaining if you are into the Assassin's Creed series.
Safety and peace, Altair.
You're in my way.
Yes, Al-Mualim has asked that I assist you. Remind you how it is we hunt our prey.
I know how it works.
Be that as it may, I have no desire to disobey.
Then be quick.
The Assassin have many tools at their disposal.
Yes. We can eavesdrop, we can pickpocket, or we can use violence to intimidate.
Good, you remember.
So you'd have me walk amongst the others and learn what I can about the traitor?
Yes. Begin by going to the village market. That's where we first spotted the traitor.
You know who it is?
Perhaps.
Then give me a name and let's be done with it.
That's not the way it works. Now go. And remember, begin your search in the village market.
Unbelievable. So yeah, there was like this kind of like battle sequence and everything, and now we've got to go and we're kind of starting back from square one. I mean, it's a game, right? They need to set you up, have a fun sequence, and then throw you back down. But this one you can also see, like, it's got a great sense of crowd density. Again, for its era, gotta look at this from a historical standpoint. It's just really neat what this one provided, and it allowed you to have certain levels of neat verticality as you explored the environment, making big moves. And yeah, a remaster, or perhaps even at this point a remake, would be really cool to really revamp what this is. But I think this kind of gives us that sort of level of quality without having to do so. And that in itself is quite fantastic. So it looks like we're going to have to figure out what's going on here. And you can kind of do all these like fun stealth things as you blend into the environment. Well, I am at peace, but very obviously an assassin from the castle up above. Sit on a nearby bench. Just me going out for a peaceful day. Just gonna run over here and sit on this bench here and be all inconspicuous.
I know what I saw. Musun opened the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Muallim.
I can't. Masun did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
Ah, but the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the Weaver. He can name Masun's accomplice.
He's disappeared, hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
Ooh, now we have to find the Basket Weaver. The plot thickens in this intense follow-up investigation. But it's not all like this. Sometimes you are actually assassinating your target, making your moves, and trying to figure out, you know, what's actually going on in this place. I think it's a pretty neat experience, but if you are used to something, you know, a little bit later on, way too close to pickpocket. Oh, but why?
Please, just one.
But as I was saying, the newer ones definitely have a very different flow to them in what they do story-wise and gameplay-wise. They move further and further from the historical elements. Like, they're still heavily drenched upon in history. And, you know, the kind of stuff that they are inspired from in regards to those, you know, newer titles. You get all the deep dives into that. But this one really was more like living in it, and you are kind of doing more of the future, as in the history is just a place that kind of adds to the experience, if that makes sense. You're more or less kind of taking the forefront being that futuristic angle, and then you're diving into the past occasionally to fill in the background. Whereas the newer ones are basically entirely in the past. There we go, that fully explains it. For those that are probably confused and they're like, huh? But no, seriously, it's like, this one is more less historical in regards to what it does, and more about that front-facing mystery of the future that you're trying to build and enjoy across a few of the different titles. I am exposed. It's kind of like a big tutorial thing. I meant to push him. Ah, these guys are like really aggressive into trying to find me. Woohoo! Taka! They will not find me here, even though they saw me literally jump into here and not exit the spot. I have vanished. It is safe to come out now. I get such a humor out of this game, and it's like, you know, stealth mechanics at times it's very, very entertaining. It's just like, I'm gonna just jump in here, and they won't even know what happened. Anyway, yeah, this is just acting like it's a tutorial of sorts, being like, hey, here's how you interact with people in the world and get your missions done that you're told to do. Later ones, it's like, hey, just go kill these people and, you know, have at it. And then really later on, it's just like, go kill folks and do whatever you want to get it done.
Hear the things you say. A traitor? I'm not a traitor. It's Al-Muallim who's betrayed us. Today's attack was but the first. And more will follow unless you repent. Give up your wicked ways. Rise up against the madman of Masyaf. See through his lies.
It's kind of really creepy from this perspective, kind of just being like this stalker almost. And it's so nice that everything is running at 60 FPS, like, you know, all the characters moving around and whatnot. It really is quite a spectacular way to play this absolutely classic game. It really is, like, just think of it. Like, this game spawned years and years of sequels and follow-ups and spin-offs on different platforms, and It really is quite marvelous to think of how simplistic, but yet similar the games have almost been over the years from this initial starting until they really revamped it into the modern era. But it works. You've been saying some things we don't like. Why did this guy go over here anyways?
I do not wish to be disturbed. Is it a fight you want?
Enough! I yield!
We should have
I
Sam
yield.
Fishered him.
Speak quickly then. I've no interest in your games. Why did you betray us? And who do you serve?
We serve the Templars.
Oh!
You should too. Their cause is just.
We?
Jamal, he told me of their plans. Asked me to open the gate.
You betrayed us. We, who called you brother and kept you safe from harm.
I did what I believed was right. And if you must kill me for it, so be it. I am not afraid to die.
Your fate is not for me to decide. It's Al-Muallim who will judge.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
You stand accused of betraying our Brotherhood and opening the way for our enemies. How do you answer to these charges?
I deny nothing. I'm proud of what I did. My only regret is that they failed.
Ooh.
Offer you a chance to repent, to renounce the evil in your heart.
It is not evil in my heart, but truth. I will not repent.
Then you will die. You did well, Altair, and have earned the right to carry a blade once more.
What will become of the one who helped him?
It remains to be seen. Some do ill out of ignorance or fear. These men can be saved. Others suffer from corrupted wills, their minds poisoned and twisted. These men must be destroyed. Soon enough, we'll know what sort of man Jamal is.
I've passed your test then. What now?
Oh, my child. We've only just begun. I hold here a list. 9 names adorn it. 9 men who need to die. They are plague bringers, war makers. Their power and influence corrupts the land and ensures the Crusades continue. You will find them. Kill them. In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace, both for the region and for yourself.
Shall be done, my lord.
You might be redeemed.
9 lives in exchange for mine.
A most generous offer, I think. Have you any questions?
Only where I need begin.
Very well. Ride for Damascus.
So cinematic.
Seek out the black market merchant named Tamir. Let him be the first to fall.
You know, you think it'd be a little suspicious considering we're wearing like white clothes, like white robes, and he was wearing like a black one. He kind of seems like a Sith Lord.
To inform the Rafik of your arrival. Speak with him. You'll find he has much to offer.
It shall be done.
If you believe it best.
I do. Besides, you cannot begin your mission without his consent.
What nonsense is this? I don't need his permission. It's a waste of time.
It's the price you pay for the mistakes you've made. You answer not only to me, but all the Brotherhood as well now.
So be it.
Take your equipment and go. Prove that you are not yet lost to us.
Just gonna go ahead and fast forward me over there. Oh, it's the blade. We've got blades, we've got hidden blades. This feels so good now.
Altair, it seems my students do not fully understand what it is to wield the blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
Oh, that seems like a lot of work. It sounds kind of a little bit like a tutorial. got better things to do than sit here and fight with you.
You must be busy. I understand. Such wild swings will give your enemy an open and send you to an early death.
Come on, let's get on to the action. And the freedom of the open world. Oh, as for a second they're gonna just jump off that hill. That would have been a very bad idea, I think. It's almost humble beginnings in this one, and you do get to kind of, you know, this is a place of revisiting. You know, if you play some of the later ones, you might come across that. I think we're almost at our destination to get to the main spot. What about you? Dun, 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 dun. An assassin knows the vehicles of the time. It feels expansive, yet at the same time you can definitely see the limitations of the era, am I right? What are we doing, like a horse chase sequence? And with that, we ride off into the sunset.
Your time. When moving slowly, you reduce your chance.
Loading screens are a lot faster, though. You used to have to, like, kind of sit there for a bit almost, you know, like walking around in that in this empty void. Now it's pretty swift.
What a fool!
Time to climb. These moments were always cool, like even in, you know, the way later ones, synchronizing is always a fun thing. And that never gets old either. Does it specifically want me to set a marker on the map? A horse fight. Oh, those are always the best. Anyways, Assassin's Creed FPS boosted. A pretty great experience.